Yeah, my name is Jacinty Caldata Francis Wakenham, and since 1965 I become a voter, and I always place my X next to the cup. And what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data.
Oh, Jesus Christ, if cost of living double, I don't know what happened. A pound of sugar is $300 already. Flour, everything gone up. Everything just raising. You gotta give a $40,000 for buy good ration. You gotta get 3 man now. A weekend man, a monthly man, and a fortnight man.
I can't take it no more. I can't take it no more. Can't take it no more. Imagine 18 hours a blackout, and you're telling people progress. Cost of living gone up 100%, yet you give public servant less. Mr. President, listen to the people. Search your soul and you will confess. I want you try surviving on the public base, then you're gonna know but stress. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. They don't drive no fear with the citizen. They may want the people speak out. Freedom of speech done gone inside the gutter. Knock off when you open your mouth. Discrimination in entertainment, and you're talking about one Guyana. When the Ministry of Culture keep the big shows, one set of girls and banner. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up. Every picture you take and promise you make, everything you do is about clout. Then you come into me for I shake your hand, there's nothing to smile about. Corruption inside every sector, but when it comes to them they send you. Try investigate efficiency, right? Go talk to Barrett and Sue. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done fed up, we done fed up, the people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup, look how evil set up. The people fed up.
Oh, yes, the people fed up, fed up, fed up, fed up of the corruption, fed up of the discrimination, fed up of the racism, fed up. That's all. If you are watching this show tonight and you are not fed up, it means that something is wrong. It means that you get a little brown bag, or you get somebody with a little brown bag. So if you are fed up and you know for certain that you are fed up, just type right there. Those of you who can type, I'll spell fed up for you guys. Okay, I'll spell fed up for you guys. Ready? 1, 2, 3. After I spell fed up, I'll spell corruption for you guys. How many of you can spell corruption? Don't just beat around the bush, guys. You know, by the way, somebody said in that song it has corruption in the cup. Why is this guy on the screen? What's going on with Lemon? By the way, Emma, our executive producer, is busy doing some other projects. Okay? So, Lemon, good. Get this Mickey Mouse. Get this Paku off the screen, please. Corruption in the cup, according to the song, right? Get this Paku off the screen. Oh, shucks. From one Paku to the next. What's happening there at the ministry? What is it? The Guyana Lands and Surveys Commission. Lots and lots of corruption, allegations of corruption upon corruption. And this guy, Enrique Moniz. That's his name, Moniz. Money. How many of you know that song? Right? Anyways, we're not here for song. This is not a talent show. This is a talk show, right? So please, Lemon, get Moniz off the page. Good night and welcome to Straight Up. My name is Mark Benshap. Now let's get back to the question. How many of you can spell corruption? If you can spell corruption right now, I will give you a prize. right now if you can spell corruption. Bernadette James, that is not how you spell corruption. Nadia Hamilton, that is not how you spell corruption. Spell corruption, and we are going to spell corruption for you guys, and you guys will have an understanding as to how you spell corruption. Lynette Nelson, is that how you're spelling corruption? No, come on, guys. Look, we just spelled corruption there for you. Corruption. Spell corruption, we just spelled it there for you guys. Come on. Jagdeo. Is that how you spell corruption? So if corruption cousin doesn't want you guys to, those members of parliament, and by the way, don't you guys love the members of parliament? They are more British than the British, right? I mean, I'm like, you're there in parliament. Oh, talk one and two Guyanese talk no man. In a Jamaica, in a Trinidad, when they're in a parliament, how you think them sound? The Trinidadian parliamentarian, they tell all you like it is. The Jamaican parliamentarian, they say, well, and they got a new thing now. What was this? SYM. SYM. You guys don't let the elderly know what SYM is. But I'm sorry about that, guys. I'm not in church tonight, so all right. So now, even in a Jamaica, the Jamaican parliamentarians and the politicians, say them are Jamaicans, right? The Trinidadians and them the same thing. The Vincentian, and then we'll forget about that joker, Ralph Gonzalez. But you know the islanders, you know the Jamaicans in parliament, but only in Guyana. Only in Guyana. Every one of them got a British accent. Well, somebody said except Gail Teixeira. She thinks she's more Canadian than the Canadians. Forget about Canadian. Can we offer a word of prayers for the Canadians? Seriously, can we offer a word of prayers? Our Canadian brothers and sisters who might be watching this show tonight, we are with you guys. We are with you guys. We're sending some stuff over there. Bottle of oil, something, man, for the Canadians. But, watching and listening our politicians there in Guyana, I don't know. They're more British than the British. They're more British than the king and the princesses and the princess and all of those folks out in England, right? You know what I mean? Most oblige, your worship. Mr. Speaker, it's like Nancy and Bera and the whole crew. Can you just imagine? Sometimes I feel like I want to just cry. Tears. Good night to all of you guys. My name is Mark Benjap, and welcome to Straight Up. What do you guys want us to talk about tonight? Hey, last night we dealt with the corruption and the racism of the PPP regime, right? What do y'all want us to talk about tonight? Tell me. Continue with corruption, and all we're doing is talk. Every single night I appear here, I got to put on my makeup, I got to do my hair, my wig, my lipstick, every single thing I got to do. And speaking of which, Rosanna is going to be jealous. Y'all know that butcher from Unity, right? And then all we do is talk. I'm just tired of the talking, man. Seriously, I'm tired of the talking. Corruption. We all know that the PPP is the most corrupt regime, corrupt party, right? In South America and around the world. They're just corrupt. They're brutal. They're murderous. That's what they are. That is what they're about. And every single night, we just talk. Man, look, Nancy.
I can't take it no more. Can't take it no more. Imagine 18 hours of blackout, and you're telling people progress. Cost of living gone up 100%, yet you give public servant less. Mr. President, listen to the people. Search your soul and you will confess. I want you try surviving on the public base, then you're gonna know but stress. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up, she done.
Everybody fed up. If you're not fed up, well, something is wrong with you. If you're not fed up, it means you get a brown paper bag, right? And for those of you who don't know what a brown paper bag is, I'll tell them. Say what a brown paper bag is. What's happening in the Ministry of Housing, guys? Now, we've been talking about that for a while now. I want to get in a war between Melly Mel. Sorry about that. And this person, right? I don't want to. But on a serious note, though, allegations of corruption upon corruption upon corruption. Corruption. And so this is not the first time. The top ministries in terms of corruption is Ministry of Infrastructure, Ministry of Home Affairs, gun licenses upon gun licenses. And those guys who sit there, they make hundreds of millions of dollars in gun licenses. Why do you think they give out gun licenses to Tom, Dick, Harry, Harry Charan, Harry Charal, Kausila, Sharmila, Drupati, Wanda, Lisa? Everybody get gun licenses. And if you can't get a gun license, you got to pay money. Sometimes you pay $1 million, you pay $2 million, $5 million. The drug lords get gun licenses. The money launderers get gun licenses. They get security. All these things. How you think they're moving around with big guns? You think it's just so? You think it's just so these people is move around with big guns? That's Guyana, guys. That not even the police force get these sort of weapons. But back to the memes. Sorry for that. There you go. Read between the lines. You know what happened there just now, right? And so why do you think that these places are so corrupt? Because all of them, every single one of them, they could pretend that they are not corrupt. They could pretend that they're transparent and all these things. They could talk how much they want to talk. They could throw blows. They could throw insults at individuals, whether it's Melly Mel or whomever. They could throw their insults. But we all know what's happening, right? These people are not church people. They're not pundits. They're not reverends. They're not bishops. Certainly they're not. They're not majis. They're not imams. They are corrupt individuals. The Ministry of Housing is corrupt. Lands and Surveys is corrupt. Ministry of Home Affairs is corrupt. The police force is corrupt. Some judges are corrupt. Some magistrates are corrupt. You want me to go on? Corruption at the office of the president, corruption at the prime minister's office, corruption at the Ministry of Social Services, corruption upon corruption. That is what is happening in the country. And when you get a man like Ramaya, and when I say a man like Ramaya, I really don't mean anything to insult Ramaya. Ramaya is my friend. He's from Wim Village. On the quarantine makes it even better from Waterside. Those of you who from Wim Village, or if you haven't gone to quarantine, whenever you visit the quarantine, stop by at Wim Village. The police station, they're back damn side, and Ramaya, they're Waterside. Wim Village. So Ramaya now, who has a history of resigning, he has resigned the most time, more than any other politicians that I personally know of. And if I had my way, Ramaya would have gotten a national award for the most resignation. Man, me resign. Man, me not get time with them, me resign. Man, they now give me position, me resign. Man, me go Babu Jan and tell Jack there, say me sorry, say me resign. Right? Jack there, they end up giving you a position, they give you a hard time in quarantine, man, me resign. Then he get back a little something again, and things not go, man, me resign. So, sorry, Ramaya. It's a good resignation, don't get me wrong, because we don't need Ramaya. While we welcome Ramaya's comment, but we don't need Ramaya to tell us that the PPP is the most corrupt. The PPP is the most corrupt. He never know that when he got Babu Jan. He never gone. He never know. He just resigned from the AFC and from the coalition and so forth, and he run up under one of the most corrupt individuals in Guyana, Barra Jagdeo. Run up underneath Barra Jagdeo craft and look up and say, man, me come back, me there, right? Ramaya, good thing, good. We're glad that you're saying that they're corrupt. We're glad that you know that they're the most corrupt PPP. And mind you, his wording is, this PPP is the most corrupt, as though there are other PPP. But look, man, I don't know what's going on. Alison Bennett, tell me what's going on. Tony Hack, what's going on, my friend? What is happening? Brenda Casey, Keith Virgil, Neville, also known as Civic, Ramaya said I'm corrupt. So Abby must just clap hand, like a clap roti. And I will sing because Ramaya said the PPP is the most corrupt. So come on, everybody, sing with me. Ramaya and the people at Wim Village, we got to sing because the PPP is indeed the most corrupt political party in Guyana, in Guyana's history, and in the Caribbean, in South America, and possibly one of the most corrupt political parties in the world is the PPP. So come on, let's sing. Mami Bele Roti. How many of you know that song as we heat up for the program tonight? I bet most of you don't even know this song. Mami Bele Roti. Finish it for me. That is what is not the song by itself. The song is a nice song by my friend Terry Gadradrad. But when you look at Irfan Ali, Jack Dale, the Ministry of Housing, the Ministry of Home Affairs, Lands and Surveys, all of them are one in terms of corruption. So when you're in the kitchen, whether you cook, bake, or roti, you just beat and you sing and you clap your hand and you sing this, Mami Bele Roti. What else? Come on, Beatrice Silby. You guys should know this. Mami Bele Roti what? Come on. How many of the listeners, you guys don't know Chutney? You guys don't know Terry Gadrat song? Irfan Ali is Mami. Jack Davis Bailey. The Minister of Home Affairs is Roti. So it goes like this, Basil Bracha. Come on, Basil. Good night to you, my friend. It goes like, Mami Bele Roti Daddy. Oh, my gosh. Tia Ali already know what's going on. Mami Bele Roti Daddy Chumke Dal. That's how corrupt they are. So while they are cooking up the budget, over $1.3 trillion budget, in nothing for you, the ordinary people. I ain't get dal, I ain't get flour, I ain't get nothing for make roti. I ain't get nothing, no extra money for make bake, no extra money for make black pudding, patap, and all these things, bread, nothing. And all of them are in parliament, in cabinet, the corrupt PPP vagabonds, and all of them are saying, Mami Bele Roti Daddy Chunky Dal. Mami Bele Roti Daddy Chunky Dal. Jagde Tekal, put him in a bowl, and Ali eat out all. Mami Bele Roti Daddy Chunky. That is what's going on, guys. It might sound like a joke to you, but it's not a joke. We might as well smile. What are we going to do? $1.3 trillion budget. And there's nothing for the people in Alboyster, nothing for the people in Monrepo, nothing for the people on the quarantine, Blackbush Polder. The farmers are complaining. They can't plant their beer. And how many of you know beer? They can't plant their beer. They can't do nothing. People are punishing throughout the country. In Linden, people are punishing. In Georgetown, people are punishing. In Latham, people are punishing. Even those three stooges who stammer their way about a couple of years ago, you can't even hear from them. You know the three stooges I'm talking about from Linden. Those stammer, and now I'm not laughing people who stammer. I'm not doing that, if you know what I mean, because sometimes I myself stammer. I recall a couple of years ago, landlord come for your rent. I can't tell you, broke, right? So that is what is happening in Guyana. Nothing for poor people. The schools are incomplete. What about Bamia School? Is anybody talking about it any longer? And about 3-4 months ago, Jagdale, Mami that is, Bele Roti, Jagdale said that the school is complete. It is finished. Somebody should ask him, sorry about that, Sean, Anthony Ben, my cousin. I knew I was going to catch him. I set a trap for him, and there Sean Anthony Ben. As soon as I say, the landlord said, look, Sean, you are my cousin, man. Don't feel any way. Sean Anthony Ben says that he take umbrage to good night again, all of you guys. My name is Mark Benshaw. Hey, so let's get back to this here. So Susan Rodriguez, the Minister of Housing, decided that she wants to put dunk, a semi-diplomatic musing on Melly Mel. Well, who tells you to do that? Melly Mel talk about who does do this and that. I didn't even know that the perception of a dirty Ministry of Housing going on right now. Forget about the corruption and all these sorts of things. And now I don't want to get into any lick business. I'm not. I'm a nice guy, right? And so therefore this show is basically straight up. And we have a lot of senior citizens here like the Sean Benz and the Neville Seatal and Francine Cruz and Morris Sukraj and so forth. Right. So allegations of corruption at the Ministry of Housing, and this time we're just focusing on the Ministry of Housing. What the minister should have done, again I repeat, what the minister should have done was to respond to the allegations. But instead of a proper response, it was a abuse out, a big, dirty, lays down abuse out, which tells me that there appears to be some sort of guilt. Now, I'm not saying that this minister, I don't know what's the pronoun, it's none of my business though, but this minister seemed to have been upset because of allegations of corruption. That the allegation is she bought a property in New York, and that property cost a heck of a lot of money. And now the minister is saying that that is not true. Melly Mel is saying that it was purchased in one of her relatives' names. And now I don't know whether that is true. I don't know whether it's not true. But based on what is happening, massive corruption and allegations of corruption at the Ministry of Housing, we need to have an investigation, an independent investigation on all those individuals who have been granted land, have been given away house lots, hundreds upon hundreds of house lots. We need a proper investigation into this, and there should be an investigation. So instead of the minister bumps raising, then the minister should have said, well, look, I have nothing to hide. And as a matter of fact, since I have nothing to hide, I'm going to open up my bank account. I want the public to see my bank account. Whether she has a bank account at GBTI, whether she has a bank account at NBS, wherever there's a bank account, if she has nothing to hide, instead of cussing back Melly Mel, she should have been able to say, no. Prove Melly Mel wrong and say, these are my bank accounts and this is the amount that I have. This is the property, or these are the properties I own. That is your approach. But when you start to abuse back, it makes me stop for a moment and ask myself, what's the abusing back? Why is she abusing back Melly Mel? Is there really something? And when I saw Susan Rodriguez abusing back, I was like, no. I got to step back here. And this is how she was abusing back Melly Mel earlier today, in case you guys missed it.
Salamat imble koko.
Sorry, that was the wrong tape. Hey guys, welcome to Straight Up. My name is Mark Benshaw. What more can we do with all of the corruption upon corruption happening in Guyana? There's no longer allegations of corruption when it comes to some of these people here at all, because they are so stupid. Like, take for example, this guy, we got to call him out like he's dumb. He's dumb. He is dumb. What are they going to take me to? What, the Ethnic Relations Commission or cybercrime, that you can't say that this guy is dumb? And then he wants us to believe that with his salary, let's match his salary. What's his salary? That he can afford to buy maybe one, maybe two, or maybe three, who knows, properties outside of Guyana. And those properties are not, if the information is accurate, right? But he is yet to come out to say, to deny. But thus far, he hasn't really denied. And so if he makes X amount of dollars per month, his salary, then how can he basically justify a property that's worth almost $1 million US? What's the justification? Can somebody say, what's the justification? But you know what's wrong with this Paku? This Paku. Yes, he is a Paku. And I know he's doing all them beads on his hand. Oh, oops. Right. On his hand. Right? On his hand. On his hand. All right. So here is what's happening. This money that this guy got, properties and so forth, it's nothing compared to what those guys who are closer to Jack Dave and Irfan, those guys are making hundreds of millions. It's not easy money. And this little Paku now probably try a little hustle. And guess what? Try a little hustle and he get caught and they kick you out again. He dep on his own. Right now he's probably crying. He's probably on his bed crying worse than Philip Basdale. Y'all think Philip Basdale could cry? Imagine big men for small things that they should go and explain. They should go and explain. The gun upon Travis Trace crying. It's only left for him to hold on Travis Trace and cry on Travis Trace's shoulders. These big men, soon as they're cornered, they cry like little, and John, you could spell it out there, they cry like little a set of Pakus, all of them. If I have my way right now, I'll jail all of them, no exception. All of them will be jailed. Every single one of them will be jailed. Most of them should have already been jailed. Jack Dave should have been in jail still, in shackles, receiving lipsticks and what is it? Wigs, and probably liming in a hammock with Baba and the rest of the boys and them. Those people don't mean well for Guyana. We saw the destruction. We saw how they're persecuting people. We see what they're doing throughout the country. We know what the agenda of these vagabonds in the PPP are. We already know that. What more do you guys need to see? What more do you guys need to know? That this PPP regime is bad for business. That's one. They're bad for the country. They're bad for the people. They're bad for democracy. They are just bad people. They are corrupt people. They are racist people. And they should not be allowed to go back into office. You're going to listen to this Paku tomorrow. Mami Bele Roti. You're going to hear this Paku tomorrow at his so-called press conference. And what he would say at his press conference is nothing different. Same thing over and over again. He sounds like this.
Selamat Imlek Koko.
Every single Thursday, that's all we hear.
Selamat Imlek Koko.
Every single Thursday. If he's not talking about Glenn Lal, he's talking about some dal, he's talking about pumpkin, and this is how he sounds.
Selamat Imlek Koko.
That's the nature of the beast. And then he gets into this slow motion kind of talk. And when he starts to talk about the opposition, all he has to say, all he could ever say, nothing of substance, nothing that makes sense, nothing that people listen to, nothing that people understand, nothing that people believe, absolutely nothing. And so when he's done with
Salamat imble koko.
and he goes over to the opposition.
Nana na nung em. Nana nung em.
In the meantime, his friend, his buddy friend, Ed Ahmad, is in problems. And he's not coming out to say anything about Ed Ahmad. His friend, his buddy friend, he probably got millions upon millions of US dollars from Ed Ahmad and so forth. So is this why Ed and his brother Sharif and their nephew, whatever his name is, Travis Chase, if you're watching, what's Ed Ahmad's nephew's name? I notice Travis is big up in them and advertising and so, but people got to advertise too, right? Don't get me wrong. I think his name is Amir or something like that, right? Tomorrow it's going to be about when we got into office, we had to investigate the lands, right? When we got into office, we had to investigate the lands and all manner of things. He's going to try to justify what they did. And they went after coalition people and they had to take the land back because the land was given to only a few. Not true. Not true at all. Thank you. Not true at all. That's Emma. Again, just came to check up on me. Not true at all. And that is what is happening in the country. But let me show you guys something. How many of you guys recall this here? Y'all don't know where Jack Dale lives, right? But when they were, I know Denise Booker, Emma just turned up to say she's here. She stamped her authority. Daddy, behave. I am here. But let me show you guys this here. This was when she was, Jack Dale was building his mansion in Pradoville. I decided to take a walk there. And this is what happened. Bear with me for a couple of minutes, guys. Please bear with me for a couple of minutes. Let me take you into Pradoville too, when it was just started. They were just starting it there. They give away lands and stuff to their friends and their cronies. Some PNC guys get land there. Some army officials get land there. And some very sweet deal of a land. This is the area. It's called Pradoville.
We're in Pradoville 2. All right, so here's where all the big shots will be living. Pradoville 2, compliments of Bharat Jagir. This here is Clement Roy's house, so we were told. Pradoville. Pradoville 2. This is Doc. See, they're now doing the road. This is a doctor's house. Okay, this house here that you're seeing belongs to the Minister of Agriculture. Yeah, Minister of Agriculture, Robert Prasad, who is actually the president's nephew-in-law. You know, he's married to the president's niece. This is how these people are living You see how they ensure that the drainage and everything is well fixed? Okay. See the yard? Great. This is a huge house. Cost over $100 million just to build. See the yard space? Wow. Luxury, huh? Okay. Over here now, see other empty lots here. Minister of Housing will be going at that particular empty lot there. But over here is, you know who? Yeah, the President of Guyana. This is where the President of Guyana, Bharat Jagir, will be living. Look at this mansion. Cost over 1 million. Over 1 million US dollars. But we're in a compound right here. And this is what we're bringing to you live and direct. Look at the yard space. Just take a look. Take a look at what's happening here. Unbelievable. Look at that extra piece. He has it for about 3 vehicles. Just take a look. Take a look. I hope the Ethnic Relations Commission can look into this situation as well. We're not a single, so far we haven't seen a single, but look at the car space. 3 garages. 3. So come and take away the camera now. Look at this. See this? Wow. Interesting, huh? This is Pradoville 2. And people are punishing in this country. People are punishing in this country. And look at Jagir's property. You want to come and tell me that in front of my face? You want to tell me that in front of my face? Come and tell me that in front of my face. You don't have to hide and talk. Come and tell me that in front of my face. Pradoville 2. Wow, interesting. They can just talk, but you go close up to them, they don't want to say anything. They're afraid. They're a bunch of, you know what. Okay, see, this whole space here belongs to Jagir. It's like a plantation, you know. Maybe, I don't know, that's going to be his guest house, you know. His guest house. That's alright. Good time with her. Well, this car is videoing us. That's okay. This car is videoing us. We get a shot of the individual in the car that's videoing us. Okay. Good. Good. He's hiding. So we kind of like have an idea as to what's happening. So you see these guys. You see how they behave. Great. This is his car number. Yeah, come.
Why don't leave this freaking man?
Leave who?
Leave this man.
Leave who, Jack? Get this taxpayers' money. Open your car door and talk. Open your car door and talk. Why should we leave him alone? This is taxpayers' money. You don't think so?
Why don't leave this man?
No, why? But isn't it taxpayers?
Well, if you know it's taxpayers' money, investigate the man.
Well, that's what we're doing. This side here now, this belongs to Minister Housing, Irfan Ali. Just the other day had nothing, absolutely nothing. And look at these guys. Look at Robert Prasad. This is Robert Prasad, right, Dale? Robert Prasad. Can you believe this? How much do you think this house costs? Over 100. Look, yeah, look at the size of Jack Deere's property.
Apart from the size of the actual house.
Yep.
Look at
Exactly. And look at 3-car garage. Wow. Something. Look. This is a plantation. You know, that's a doctor's house too, you know. Doctor from the heart clinic, or what is it, the heart institution. Look at property. Look at the I know, that's what we want to do with Jack Deere. That's what we want to do with Jack Deere. We're going to send Jack Deere to jail so he could drink soap. The workers abusing us and security, so we're letting them know that Jack Deere going to have to go to jail and drink soap. This is the agriculture. Yeah, just not an ordinary reporter. This is a migrant, a doctor at the Heart Institute, and we're told that Gary Best, he has a property here too. But like Gary Best, and then they didn't get a little money yet. They start building yet.
Well, they got to do the government's bidding and return the
And
government.
then save up a little change.
No, they have to return the government to power.
Okay, so they have to, Gary Best and them have to return the government to power before they gain access here. Okay. Wow. Interesting. Dale, you think you would have ever been able to get a piece of land here?
Maybe if I was a PPP.
Wow. Interesting. Master days are back again. Master days are back again. Look at this. That's Clement Roy's house. The one next to Clement Roy is who? Adele? Alright, we're going to get to the bottom of all of this sometime soon. Pradoville 2 for you guys. Pradoville 2. Jack Deere's plantations. We'll give you more information later.
That was a few years ago, of course, when I was younger, and confronted Jack Deere in that plantation. They were now building it, but it looks different now, of course. Taxpayers' money, the roads are well built, lights and drainage, and every single thing, compliments of taxpayers. And so Jack Deere took away a plot of land, ancestral land, from some folks in Plaisance, and he built his plantation there. And he gave a piece of land to his good friends then. He gave a piece of land to the then Chief of Staff of the Guyana Defense Force, Gary Best. Then he gave a piece of land to the Director of Public Prosecution. Of course, they say they pay a little money. So you get an Army Chief of Staff there. Then you have the DPP given a piece of land there. Then you got the Minister of Housing then, Irfan allegedly had a piece of land there. In fact, on that day, Irfan was doing some dirty skin. I couldn't even recognize him, right? Some mud walk on his house. And then you have Robert Prasad with a house there as well. Then you have Priya Manik Chand with a house there that she sold for almost $1 million. $1 million US dollars, that is. And that is how these people survive. They switch things to turn it around and so forth. And the house that Priya Manik Chand sold for $1 million right in Pradoville too was sold to a good friend of Barra Jack Deere, a businessman out in Queens, New York, Liberty Avenue. And here goes Liberty Avenue again. So almost $1 million he bought that house from Priya Manik Chand. So Priya Manik Chand collected or nearly $1 million, and she went off and got another property somewhere. And so she was so happy. Robert Prasad's house now, I believe, is the one that Sue, maybe that's the one that Sue was renting. Sue was renting that. So that's the property that's right opposite Jack Deere's property. So whenever they want to make their little deals, then Sue will just walk right over into Jack Deere's living room. And as you saw there, he has the stairways there, he got room there, room there. His garage can hold about 4 or 5 cars, and his garage is bigger than most Guyanese house. Most Guyanese, right? And that is how those guys are living lavishly. In fact, before Jack Deere moved to Pradoville 2, they had another Jack Deere compound called Pradoville 1. That is where Civic, who is on this live, I believe, unless his battery die out, but Civic and others were kicked off their properties. Their homes were bulldozed. They were beaten. They were locked up. That same Civic. So when you guys see Civic behaving the way that he's behaving, it is because he is hurt, because he was persecuted by Jack Deere and his goons when they first started Pradoville 1. And that was over 20 years ago when I first met my good friend in the audience, Civic, Neville Seatal, also known as Civic. He has, in my opinion, and this is not to insult my brother, has not recovered since then. His family destroyed, his wife died, every single thing. And on that night when Jack Deere and his goons went after Civic and others, and here is the story about Civic. That same guy that is in Madhya, and he goes on video and he Ailihan on foot and thing like that. That is Civic. He is what he is, just like that. He has nothing to hide, nothing to be ashamed of. If he doing a video and he Ailihan on foot and thing like that, he said, "Me attack to you now." That is Civic, right? And we gotta appreciate Civic, mind you. So when Civic got involved, at that time, it was Sheikh Baksh who was the Minister of Housing. Sheikh, put your hand, shake a bag, push your hand inside. You're lucky if you get a swamp piece of land. Now, when they got there to Pradoville 1, Jack Deere and all of them wanted to bulldoze, kick the people out. And so they went opposite Pradoville 1 and they kicked the people out. 99.9% of the people they kicked out were persons of African descent. That's a fact. Civic is still there. Neville Seatal is still there to talk the story. And because Neville Seatal said, "Man, how I treat them people like this, man?" These people, meaning the African Guyanese who were right there in that compound, Neville Seatal said, "Why I treat these people like them are human beings just like us?" And they turned on Neville and they bulldozed his house. They kicked down his altar with his Hindu goddess and so forth and so on. They didn't care. They knocked down his Jandi flag. Every single thing they did. And that hurt Neville Seatal. On that very night, I took Neville Seatal and his family in front of Jack Deere's house in Queenstown with a mattress, and a couple of folks came out, and Neville Seatal and his family were prepared to sleep in front of Jack Deere's house, a house on 4 Shah Street, that he allegedly sold to the Russian Rusal company. Taxpayers' money, taxpayers' house. They got the house through Nissil, and they sold it to the Russians. And he, Jack Deere, should tell people, instead of him sitting at his so-called press conference, talking dotishness,
Salamat imble koko.
he should tell people about the properties that he owns. Nobody wants to hear about Glenn Lal. Nobody wants to hear about who this and who that. Nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to hear that Burke is a criminal. Nobody wants to hear that. Tell us about you, Jack Deere. And speaking about Burke is a criminal, according to Jack Deere, today happens to be Rickford Burke's birthday, but you guys can wish him a happy birthday after the program and so forth and so on. And so these are the things we want to hear Jack Deere talk about, how they ripped Guyanese off, how they robbed Guyanese. And getting back to Seatal, also known as Civic, that hurt Civic. Civic's family was destroyed. They were divided. They started to live in a little shack somewhere on the East Coast or wherever. And that is why folks like Civic, that I've known for all those years and stood up for, will always be close to my heart. not because he praises Donald Trump, right? He is still in Madhya and he's praising Donald Trump. But he is still my friend. He's still my buddy because to this day, he held on to his conviction. He wants to see the back of the PPP again. And Civic, we will see the back of the PPP again. And this elections, they will have to go. People are fed up of the PPP. They're fed up of corruption. They're fed up of the robbery. They're fed up of what the PPP is doing. And what they're doing is nothing good for Guyanese. $1.3 trillion budget passed today with no proper debate, no transparency. And when I say no proper debate, the opposition could just talk until the cows come home. It makes sense. The PPP already got their minds made up, and that's it. That's it. They can go into Parliament and sing the Christian song. I got my mind made up. I got my mind made. I think there's such a song, right? Hey guys, 24 minutes after 9. What else y'all want to talk about? What else? Tell me quickly, because at the end of the day, repeat after me.
I can't take it no more. I can't take it no more. Can't take it no more. Imagine 18 hours of blackout and you're telling people progress. Cost of living gone up 100%, yet you give public servant less. Mr. President, listen to the people. Search your soul and you will confess. I want you try surviving on the public base, then you're gonna know but stress. Cause I done fed up, you done fed up, he done fed up.
Everybody fed up. Every single body fed up. Everybody fed up. And that is what the leaders of the opposition, the leader of the opposition, the other parties, opposition parties, they need to confront these things, not just talk about it. Go into the streets and confront. Like what Hakeem Jeffrey says, right? Go into the streets because you've got to create good trouble, good problems, good confrontation. Nothing is wrong with that. It is your constitutional rights. And so when folks talk about hitting the streets, they don't mean violence. But people, when you talk about street protests and these things, their bumps raise, they get jittery. Well, if they got to get jittery, now it's time to make them jittery. It's time to keep your monies in your pocket. It's time to boycott businesses. It's time to do these things. And when you're boycotting businesses, you ain't boycotting businesses because of one's ethnicity or the owner's ethnicity. It's because they get some people who are not East Indians who are far worse than some of the East Indian folks. And you know what I mean. You know what I'm talking about. Emma, where's the umbrella? Oh, sorry about that. It's not raining, so there's no umbrella over here. And I wouldn't even allow my little daughter to do that to me. I want to hold my own umbrella. I will hold an umbrella for a song like them people are old, right? I will hold the umbrella for my kids or for my parents or for my grandma. My grandma is still alive. Arma, hey, how are you doing, Granny? All right. Or I'll hold it for a woman. Come on now. I said I'll hold it for a woman. Hey, guys, what else is happening in your neck of the woods? Before we go, Afras Osman, how are you doing, my friend? I haven't seen you in a while. So let's go back here. And again, yeah, I agree with you guys. Y'all got to bulldoze. Y'all got to grade the PPP out of office. Out of office once and for all. And guess what? Last night we were talking about they only fire certain kind of people. Certain kind of people. That's what they fire. They wouldn't fire the guys at GPL, even though Irfan Ali said, heads got roll. Don't know what heads got roll he's talking about. He probably thinks he's at Baroom Bar or somewhere, but heads got roll. The guys are still at GPL, more blockouts. The corrupt ships, 2 ships, GPL ships are in the country. It's a waste of time. Another set of corruption upon corruption. And the other corruption is that they are glad that 130,000 people have gotten their cash grant. Corruption upon corruption. People showing up at places they can and helping out the PPP hacks with the distribution. And some of them can't even read and write. They can't even read the people's names. And when people turn up to get their cash grants, they want the people to take their photographs first. And then when they look on the list, they say, then I get no money. Guys, when you're going to collect your money, the taxpayers' money, make sure you get your monies first. You sign for it before you take your photograph. Because when they take your photograph, they say, your name is not there. You got to come back. Another pink slip. Another pink slip. Another. How many of you guys got your cash grabs? Sparkling Wills, you got 100,000. Tamicia Ben, you got your 100,000. Who else? Dennis Atwell. Oh, Dennis is with us. Who let Dennis out of our straight up jail? He's got to go back in jail for another 2. Leave Dennis alone. He's a good guy. Good night to you, Dennis. Francine Cruz, you got your 100,000. Francine, you got your 100,000. Don't be ashamed. Go and pick up your 100,000. What else is happening? What else you guys want us to talk about? Colin Popo, like he's so obsessed with Vibes Cartel, he got right back to Vibes Cartel. Every minute is Vibes Cartel and Colin Popo. I never see a man obsessed over another man so like Colin Popo. And so, but Colin Popo has a point. When they take Vibes Cartel to Guyana, you're going to see they're going to try to make Vibes Cartel promote them. But what you guys have to do, Colin Popo, instead of fret all the time, like something under you, over there under my nose, right? According to what y'all got to do is to get to Vibes Cartel and tell Vibes Cartel if him believe in a God. And every minute Vibes Cartel, nobody could come between Vibes Cartel and God. Nobody. Every single time. He kissing Sidiam. God are the greatest. God are the greatest. He only bottle of rum in his hand and he's selling his rum. He said, God are the greatest. Oh, God are the greatest. And he get posted him next to him. Every minute is a kiss. God are the greatest. I'm not mocking anything, but hey, after spending all those years in jail, it is what it is. Who feels it knows it, right? Who feels it knows it. You know what I mean? Now, before we go, what else y'all want us to... Oh my gosh. Brutus. Somebody, is it true that Brutus got fired? I don't think that is true. Are you serious? Brutus got fired? Of course Brutus got fired. Wasn't it expected? Didn't you guys know that this is what they're going to do to him? In fact, they wanted to fire him a long time ago. Why you think Anil and those guys say he has to come out of the compound? He has to come out from here. They wanted to fire him. In fact, not only fired him, they wanted to probably kill him. Why you think they're trailing him everywhere he goes? The other day he came out of his vehicle and he confronted Narayan. He said, Narayan, who's head of special branch? This is how idiotic that guy Narayan sounded. So he confronted... Well, Brutus came out and confronted Narayan. Why are you following me? Why are you trailing me? These guys are dummies. They don't know how to do undercover work at all. They just don't. Some Facebook folks can do better undercover work than them. They don't know about undercover work. They just don't. And so these police are stupid. Those so-called undercover police guys. Because look, I'm speaking from years of experience. I know what it is to have special branch trailing me all over. I got a fish shop, special branch, 4 or 5 of them trailing me. I got Baroom Bar, they're trailing me. I tried to go somewhere else, they're everywhere. Well, you guys don't misinterpret this somewhere else because one of the places you don't see me though is around the cathedral, right? That thing they get their own people like Jack Dale and all of them. This is where they live day and night, cathedral. But now back to this trailing. So Brutus came out and confronted Narayan, the head of special branch. And then right away they said, no. I see a car taking picture me vehicle. And I don't know is who. So I got to trail the car and I called for police backup. Now you see what nonsense this is? Someone is in a car taking pictures, according to Narayan, and he decided to call for police backup. You see how these guys are idiots, and they are the ones who are special branch and senior police officers? You couldn't be serious, man. I have photographs of all of them who used to trail me. I struck up conversations with all of them who used to trail me, and I'm telling you guys this story now, right? Some of them who used to trail me, some undercover cops, end up becoming my undercover cops. So what those of you who are being trailed, you got to know how to do the thing. Now, I'm out of Guyana now. I can't wait to probably one day write a book to know how I turned the undercover cops who were sent to trail me to become undercover cops for me in their various departments. And all right. So they're trailing people now. They've been doing that's the PPP. But the coalition couldn't do that. Ramjatan, they were too nice, man. Ramjatan had his friends them all over the place. This buddy friend, oh shucks, I talk about Ramjatan now. Watch out for what's his name. Bomb's gonna raise right now. What's his name? What's his name, man? He's on with us. He been in straight up jail. Is my friend. What you name, man? Dennis Atwell. Starter. Ramjatan and these guys were so soft. They were so soft because Ramjatan, like he had a kind heart towards some of those senior ranks in the police force, you know, and maybe that's why some of these investigations were stymied. I'm just saying, but maybe one of these days I'll talk a little more about that, right? But if the coalition used to have folks trailing people, then they would have been able to trail, and they would have been able to know that months now, since they heard months before Charandas did what he did, and there were two others in the slips waiting to do the same. But with Charandas, he started to sell out his car. He started to sell out his close down his building out there in Borbies. He gave it to a former magistrate who started to occupy it, and then he went straight into Parliament. Now, wait a minute. And these guys in the opposition were supposed to be smart, but they're not. You know, when they were in the opposition, they were not smart. Some of them were thinking about a little money. Some of them were thinking about a little connection and so forth. And this is what happened. This is what happened. Right. So they went to, after they heard about Charandas, they went to Charandas and they asked Charandas, we heard that you want to vote against us. Is that true? Charandas said, no, me? Are you stupid? This time Charandas was set to vote against them in the no confidence motion. So, you know, I'm just saying how the PPP does things compared to how the coalition, how they did stuff, right? So you're going to go to Charandas and ask him that and expect him to say yes. And when Charandas got into office, right, guys, Tony Hack and all of you, Dennis Atwell, Janet Elias, Janet, and she's a little distraction, but y'all leave thing alone. Nancy is the only one paying attention, and Princess and Tomato and all of, I guess, some funny names people out there, right? Tomatoes. So guess what happened? When Charandas walked in Parliament on that day, guess what? When he walked in Parliament on that day, I don't know what. When he walked into Parliament, I got to take a break because, like,
I can't take it no more. I can't take it no more. Can't take it no more. Imagine 18 hours of blackout, and you're telling people progress.
So when he walked into Parliament that day, Jerry Govaya was next to him. Peter Ramsrup was next to him. Two phantom guys were right behind him. Oh man, big giveaway. Big giveaway. Remember that guy somewhere out in the west coast of the U.S. when they were looking for a white girl, and she was, well, a girl who happens to be Caucasian white. She was missing for all those years. And this black guy said he said when a white girl run into the arms of a black man, I knew something was wrong. Well, if I at that time was in Parliament there, and Jerry Govaya is sitting next to Charandas on the government side, when Jerry and all these guys up on the other side, and Peter Ramsrup and them. So they were sitting right next to Charandas with two phantom guys. Wasn't that a dead giveaway? Or if it wasn't a dead giveaway, and for those who turned a blind eye, was it? And I want to leave you guys with this here. I don't mind tickling your mind a little bit. Was it a conspiracy that was bigger than a Charandas? And was it that some of these guys knew of this conspiracy? Because right after that, he was escorted to the Canadian High Commissioner's office. The Canadian High Commissioner at that time was out of the country. Her deputy was the one who used the High Commissioner's vehicle and drove Charandas with Phantom Squad killers and those other guys all the way to Ogle Airport and passed through security. Again, I ask the question, was it a big conspiracy? And was that conspiracy not just with the PPP folks, were they some folks in the coalition government that knew of that conspiracy? I leave it as that tonight. But then again, the 2019 budget, the AFC, if they had their way, they would have voted against the budget because they threatened to vote against the budget if they didn't get their way. And was Charandas their way? I know some of you will be vexed, but Dennis Atwell said, let's focus on biometrics. So can we focus on biometrics then? Oh, I saw you, Dennis. I saw you there on the ground, mind you. All right. So this guy got fired, right? He's gone. He's not going to give up. He's going to take them to court. Just watch. There will be more court. He's going to challenge the firing. All manner of things he's going to do. But one of the things that he has to be careful. He has to be careful. I repeat, he has to be careful because if Jack Day, when those guys close to Jack Day get their way, they will assassinate him. Under the PPP, there's a history of these things. There are policemen who were slaughtered under the PPP regime, some under questionable circumstances. And so, Brutus, I say to you in my Paul Slow voice, you best watch yourself. You best watch yourself, boy. You gotta watch yourself. And in Conway voice, yes, he gotta watch himself. You gotta watch himself. And then Conway disappear, eat lunch, and come back. Right? That's a good show, though, right? But I know they will be having fun. Mr. Paul Slow doing a great job. Mr. Conway, good job as well. I know they have a mouthful to talk on their next program. Brutus has been fired by the Police Service Commission, the very Police Service Commission that Paul Slow was attacked. And guys like Brutus and them didn't care for Paul Slow that much. Life, though, life. Huh? Speaking of life, good news for Dion Bascom. Good news, Mr. Bascom, if you're watching, I like the fight that you put up. You exposed the Guyana Police Force. They went after you. You stood your grounds. Salute to this guy. Salute to Dion Bascom. He stood his grounds. Remember, he exposed the paper sharks killing and all manner of things. And to this day, the paper sharks murder cannot be solved because senior members of the Guyana Police Force corrupt the process. That was the only time they've held the longest police press conference that I know of. The longest police press conference in order to save their friends. And you know what I mean by that, right? All right. So guess what? I'm out of here. I am out of here. Until tomorrow, same place, same time, right here on 107.1 FM. If you miss Pradoville, you're going to hear Pradoville Thief, the man who stole ancestral lands in Plaisance, stole it. You're going to hear him talk like this tomorrow at his press conference.
Salamat imble koko.
Aren't we all just fed up? And then again, we want him to talk about the corruption. We want him to talk about Sue. We don't want to hear about Glenn Lal. We don't want to hear about Nigel Hughes. Or we don't want to hear about Terence Campbell. And we don't want to hear. Those guys are fighting to get you out of office. And eventually, this elections, you will be out of office, Jack Deere. And you've got to be investigated. And all the monies, the billions of dollars you have in a Chinese bank account in China, it's got to be investigated. Don't worry with them. They think that they could cozy up to Marco Rubio, the new Secretary of State, and these guys. Those guys already peeped their cards. They know the PPP is corrupt. It's just a matter of time. You know what I mean? Marco Rubio is on to them. It's just a matter of time. You see how quick Irfan Ali rushed to have a talk and meet with Marco Rubio? He's sucking up to Marco Rubio. But Marco Rubio, I'm sure, the new Secretary of State, has already peeped their cards. It's just a matter of time. Hey, I'm out of here. My name is Mark Benshop, and I'll be back tomorrow, same place, same time, right here on 107.1 FM. We've got to go, guys. We've got to go. Look who's here. Say bye-bye. Say bye-bye. Oops, up. Okay, we gotta go. Bye, guys. See y'all tomorrow. Same place, same time.
There and fabricate that. Unless you say who the person is, I can't comment on anonymous people.
Okay, well, let's talk about specific individuals. What is your relationship with Mr.
Which one? Where? What kind of picture? 1 second.
I can't take it no more. I can't take it no more. Can't take it no more. Imagine 18 hours of blackout and you're telling people progress. Cost of living gone up 100%. Yet you give public servant less. Mr. President, listen to the people. Search your soul and you will confess. I want you try surviving on the public base. Then you're gonna know but stress. Cause I done fed up. You done fed up. He done fed up. She done fed up. We done fed up. The people fed up. You're hiding corruption inside the cup. Look how evil set up.
Yeah, my name is Jacinty Caldata, Francis Vietnam, and since 1965, I become a voter. And I always place my ex next to the cop. And what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by 1 vote, they're losing it by data.